everybody, this is Mr. Dairyman again, and we're going to go through a quick process of conducting a graph for your experiments using Microsoft Excel. This is a much easier, quicker, neater way of doing your graphs, and it will save you a lot of time and effort and energy. But there's a lot of keystrokes, and you have to be familiar with Microsoft Excel. This tutorial will show you a quick way of doing it. We'll go step by step. First of all, when we graph our data, we usually graph the average data. And all you have to do is go up into the top left box and across the top put your independent variable changes in those boxes. For example, in the first activity we did, we sent an empty car down the ramp. We then changed that to one mass. We upped it to two masses and three masses, independent variable, and then all you do is plug in your averages, one number for each change. Let's just go with an easy 222.22, and some of those data inserts were a hair off, but still pretty much the same. 6, and let's just call this one 220. Okay, so there's our independent variable and the average data. We highlight all of that data by clicking and dragging the cursor over, and at that point we need to insert a graph. Insert tab, and although we're making bar graphs, I don't really want them to go sideways like bar here shows. The column would be the choice that we would want. So it is a bar graph, but use column. And we're going to go two-dimensional. You can get fancier with these different ones, but not necessary. And we're just going to choose here a stacked column, second square in. There's our graph. And that came out a little bit bigger than I was expecting, but you can see that we have our independent variable across the bottom, and then we have our scale done for us up through the top. Now there are some adjustments we need to make to this graph. We do not want to just print that out as is. So let's make those adjustments. First of all, there's no title. There's no labels like we discussed earlier in this class. You got to have a y-axis label. You must have an x-axis label, and that title is worth points. So this graph is very far from being done. If you go up into this chart layout function right here, you have some choices that you can make. Okay, so the first couple choices here, you can see this just gives you a title but no labels. If we go down, you can see there's space for a title, there's space for a Y, and there's space for an X-axis label. It would be the best one for us. And then at that point, all you have to do is click on and type in your title. So if memory serves me, I think we said speed of car as mass increased. And that comes right off your data table. You should never have trouble labeling a graph because the graph is the title of your data table. Just copy it. And likewise, you should never have trouble labeling your x and y. Your x-axis is always your independent variable. And all you got to do there is put mass of car because that's what changed. And the y-axis would be your dependent variable, which is speed. And if you wanted to put the unit, centimeters per second, that helps. Okay, so far we're getting close. We have a graph with the title, X and Y. We have a scale. We have the bars showing um, the data. One little adjustment. Graphs are designed to show a pattern. Right now, this pattern does show a decrease. But if you look, our scale is exploiting those small differences because it doesn't start at 0. Watch how the bars change when I change this scale. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. You select the numbers. Okay, can you see they're boxed in? Right click, then we can format or change that axis. And up here it says the minimum number. The minimum number would be the bottom of your graph. And it has your minimum number at 219. Well, we don't want 219, we want 0. So we want to fix that to 0 and hit close, and that should change things. Now, if you look at the data, now the bars are more indicative as to no change. There's not the big jumps in between those bars, okay? And this is more showing a no change in data for that part of that graph. What we want to do now is enlarge this thing as big as we can get it. Do a print preview. Ah, very nice. And this thing would be ready to print out. At home, if you want to do these for your graphs, it's very quick, it looks nice. You would want to, you could add color, but I don't want anyone to spend money with color on their labs. You can actually change the colors of these bars too. Let me go back, close the preview. If you double click on each one, you can select colors that would be better for your printer. Well, I'm not seeing anything there. Let's see if we can right click. Huh. Well, that would be something we'd have to work on. How are we going to make those bars whites? I'm not seeing it. Format data point, select data, change chart type. Huh. Well, not sure. Let's try that. Well, that would use a lot of ink. We wouldn't want to do that. So we can go back to where we were. Let's try the white bars, and then let's click on the background. Not quite sure. Anyhow, that's how you make a graph, and we would have to fool around a little bit more with that to change the colors and such. If you have any questions, you can ask Mr. Dairyman momentarily. And thank you for listening carefully.